Hello, and welcome back to Catholic GayTube. I think that's what I used to say when I did videos. It's been a while. Things have been a lot, but they're much less now, so we can get back to business and whatever. Over the last couple of months, like year or whatever, however long it's been, I've been like collecting cool stuff, because like, what else is there to do, right? And I kept thinking like, oh, when this comes in, I'll do a video about it. When this comes in, I'll do a video about it. So I have like a ton of really cool stuff that I would really love to share. But I thought I would start because I am starting to pull apart this one little guy that I have here. That is something that I was like, oh, I should get this and talk about it. So this is him. It's already pulled apart a little bit. It's a Mono 3-channel mixer made in the Soviet Union. My Russian isn't very good, but it's getting slightly better every day. I don't know if that's the right way. I might have to flip that. But, so there's like one for just like normal sound inputs, one for a magnetic input, which I think is for like a magnetic coil, like a turntable, right? And then one for a microphone. And the one for the microphone is on the end, and there's these 3 awesome fucking rotary pots that are used for the levels. But the microphone and magnet ones are both 10K, or maybe 10 mega ohms. I don't know, but the one for just sound on the end here, that's what that says, is 47 mega ohms or kilo ohms or whatever. I guess I could just check. Can you tell it's been a while since I like made a video and like I didn't script it? Because I just wanted to share. Well, that says 37K, so that's a 37K, so who fucking, or 370K. So we'll see when we pull it apart more. But the reason I got it is because, not only because it's really cute and little and Soviet, which is kind of an affinity of mine, but also because it has germanium transistors in it. I'm not sure if any of those details are going to be legible. Probably not. I'll take a picture or something, or I won't. We'll see. But they are MP41As. MP41As. Hi, Kiki. This is my roommate's cat. Her name's Kiki. She really likes to hang out in here. MP41As. So I don't know anything about that. I've never heard of those or looked them up at all. There's also some little capacitors in here. I think those are caps. All of that is to say, it arrived with these like DIN connectors, and I would like to get it working, but I have to like rip it apart in order to do that. So just in case it doesn't, just in case it's not something I can fix, at the very least, I will have some really cool Soviet germanium to play with. And this cool chassis that's already got holes cut for rectangles, so that's convenient. Because we all know how much it sucks to cut a rectangular hole. So yeah, I'm gonna pull it apart a little bit more and document the circuit a little bit more and then talk about it, I think. Okay, so I immediately came across a problem, which is that there's these red and black wires, and these red and black wires. I don't know anything about this. I know nothing about how this works. So I just checked, and it looks like this wire is coming off of this decoupling cap, and it's coming off of this transistor. So I thought this was power, but it literally just goes into a capacitor. And then this transistor. So I don't want to blow it up, because, like, you know, what's the point? So there's these jacks in it which are screwed in on the front and then they're soldered in on the back. So what I have to do, instead of just powering this on, which I would like to do, I'm gonna remove this board. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna remove this board and then diagram it and then figure out what's going on and give it some power. Okay, so we have the thing. It's pulled out. I figured out the pinout of it. It's got the negative side, the ground. Here's a positive side, and then the negative side is driving the transistors, and then this red wire is the output. So we have function generator going into this. This is wide open, going into one of these stages, the one that was still hooked up. So I think that's probably this guy. Oh, you know what? There's only 3 transistors on here. Huh. But yeah, so I was looking at it, and it's just like a summing amplifier, and I'm sure this is like an extra buffer for the microphone or whatever the hell that was. So anyway, figured out the pinouts, function generator hooked up, scope hooked up, power supply hooked up. I don't know anything, so we're just going to turn it on, and we immediately get some good results. Turn down the function generator a lot. It looks pretty gnarly. Let's keep going. Get off this coupling. Wow, so oh, whoops. So yeah, increasing the supply voltage gives us some good results. I mean, we're not even at 5 volts yet. Here's 9 volts. Looking pretty okay. If we go higher, yeah, we don't want to do that. Okay. Did I blow anything up just now? Oh, I'm touching one of the... Oh, there's the other one. Yeah, so this is me touching one of the transistors, and this is all the way on the far right of the board, or the left, whatever, on the lowest end of the audio scale, I suppose, audio gain ladder. And when I touch it, it makes this interference, and it makes a lot of interference. But then if I touch this one, it's still interference, but it's less interference, and this one, barely any. And the reason for that is that this is all the way at the bottom of the amplifier. So the noise generated when I touch it, and my parasitic capacitance or whatever, it's amplified again by the other 2 stages, where this only has 2 stages, and this only has its final stage, or whatever. Anyway, bandwidth, not great. It's pretty okay. Oh yeah, it's not great. It is great. You know what? It's fine. Bandwidth is like full audio range for sure. That's pretty cool. Just thinking of random shit I can test now. Let's see it. Negative 9 volts or whatever. Wow, we're moving less than an amp. What if I push it up to 12? 10? I get more headroom. Ooh, I guess we do, but we lose some biasing. Whoop. Yeah. Alright, well, I guess like 9 to 12 volts is probably what this was intended to run at. So, let me hook it up to an amp. I'll tell you what. Oh, that fixed my hat. I am pleased as punch. Power supply. Well, I guess amp. Okay, this is just the amp. And then when I turn the power supply on, it gets a lot noisier. But, turning the pot. Totally works. That totally works. That's pretty sick. Testing it with my little pocket operator, which has a pretty lo-fi sound. But the noise isn't really coming from here. It's definitely coming from the circuit, although it's not in its enclosure, so that'll probably contribute to it. So now I have my little baggie of the parts that were in there. I think I want to replace those jacks, right? Or that makes sense, right? Does it? Yeah, assuming I can find whatever. I mean, if I have to, I can just fabricate little washers or whatever, right? I don't know. I'll figure it out. But the schematic ended up being really simple. I mean, I guess I could show you, but the all I really did was figure out that it was a few stages of amplifiers that were summed, and then went to an output stage. And then from there, I was like, well, okay, that's weird, because that was the red wire. But then there was a battery clip. There is a battery clip on the negative side. So the listing that I bought this from was saying that that they had tried to turn it on and weren't able to like get any sound out of it. So they had the negative side of the battery hooked up to the negative supply side. So that was correct. But then the red wire of the battery, which is the positive side of the battery, was not hooked up to ground. The ground reference, the 0 volt reference of the unit. So what I think that they were trying to connect it to the red wire maybe inside the unit, which is fine. Like, it's understandable why they did that. I get it. I tried to do that, but I did it with a multimeter first. So when you're getting stuff and you don't know how it works, don't just start soldering shit to it. Actually, like, try to figure it out a little bit more. Because if I had applied positive voltage to the output of the transistor and then tried to figure out like how it was working, I wouldn't have worked at all. And I would have been really confused. So always figure out your power supply first. I'm just rambling at this point because I'm really excited. So, okay, so it's all wired up now. Everything is back together. I figured out the pin out. It's the first pin is the audio, the middle pin is the ground, and then the far pin is going to be the either the stereo signal in these connectors or the power in that one. So here's our first input, which is the microphone. It's got this like distortion to it. Don't love that, but amplifies it quite a bit. Then here's the next channel. Maybe. Oh, there it is. I had to turn the signal down a lot because the previous channel had so much gain. But yeah, that one's looking good too. These pots are probably a little dirty, but doesn't matter much. Oh, and then this also has stereo, so it can take two signals and sum them. So I guess I shouldn't say stereo. And then here's the last one, which appears to have the most gain and best frequency response. Well, maybe not the most gain, but it's also stereo, although one channel is larger than the other because one is going through a resistor. I assume that is due to like just the nature of summing, probably meant to protect the output of whatever. Oh, you know what? It's not summing, it's balanced to unbalanced. That's what that is. So yeah, it's summing at balanced, unbalanced, and then this is summing the left and right channels, so it needs to go through a resistor. That makes sense to me. It's making sense. But yeah, I'm gonna keep these on here because they're really big holes, and because I just figured out the pin out, and I'm just gonna do a DIN connection, and it's just gonna be cool, and it's gonna be adapters. And then the cables are spaghetti now, and then there's a battery compartment and a battery. It's labeled as battery and everything, but I don't know if I have to take that out in order to. I don't know if they're switching on the power jack, and I kind of don't really know. I could take a look at it. I don't really know. Like, is that for the battery connector? Like, do I connect those grounds to different sides or something? I don't know. But for now, I'll probably just wire this up for power. Although I did this just for testing. I'll wire this up for power and then get some DIN connectors and make some adapters. This guy, I just got some new headphones, so I'll probably use this as a little mixer. I want to use it as like a laptop, a benchtop mixer. But anyway, yeah.